What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I want to give you guys a quick 20,000 mile review on my 2021 Ram 2500 6.7 liter turbo diesel Cummins. Alright, so like I did say, 20,000 mile review on a 2021 Ram 2500 6.7 liter turbo diesel Cummins. Now this is the standard output and it does have the dreaded 68 RFE transmission. Crew cab, standard bed, four-wheel drive, I think like 373 gears, nothing crazy. Bighorn trim level, nothing, like I said, nothing crazy. So one step above a tradesman. And power steps, yes sir, nothing crazy. But either way, I want to give you guys like a good take on what to think about the truck, because so far so good. 19,970 miles. I'm 30 miles short, but it is close enough to a 20,000 mile review. I did buy this truck completely brand new a little over a year ago. It is not my daily driver, but I do have 20,000 miles on it, and that is all due to long trips. I bought this thing 200 miles on a truck, drove her down to the Florida Keys and back. There was, 3,000 miles. Driven to Georgia, went to North Carolina like 4 or 5 times, been in New York, been all over. And so for the most part, these are fairly highway miles. Either way, what I do want to say is I enjoy this truck a lot more than I have enjoyed any of my other vehicles, and it could be a mix of 3 different things. First off, it might have something to do with me not daily driving this thing. I do daily drive a Volkswagen TDI, so this thing sits for the most part. I drive this like 1 day a week when I film with you guys, maybe 2 days a week. So I don't drive the truck a whole lot, so maybe that has something to do with it. This is my first diesel truck, and I've always wanted a diesel truck, so that might also have something to do with it. And then fast forward to now, I have 3 diesel vehicles. Either way. And then lastly, it might also have something to do with this thing being on Jenny Craig's weight loss program. So all 3 of those factors are super fun about the truck. They all might contribute to the reason why I like this so much more than all my other vehicles. But honestly, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 is what I give this truck. I enjoy it a lot. Generally, I don't keep vehicles too long, a year, 2, maybe 3 max. I have no interest in getting rid of this truck. I love this thing. I like driving it. I like everything about this. Now, 20,000 miles, I will say this is 100% without a doubt the most comfortable truck I have ever driven in. My last truck, my Silverado, loved that truck as well, but if I was going on any kind of long trip, 2-3 hours into that drive, I was sore and I was looking for some way to get more comfortable. Like I said, 20,000 miles on a truck, went to Florida and back. 0 issues with the seat comfort. My like 4 or 5 trips to North Carolina and back, 0 issues with the comfort. I have never been in a situation yet where I'm trying to figure out like how to get comfortable in this truck. It's very comfortable. Now I will say, because a lot of people are going to hate me on that, I will say we have these trucks exactly at work, 3500s though, tradesmen's. Those seats are not comfortable at all. I do get very uncomfortable in the tradesman seats when I'm doing long distance trips for work. But for this thing, it's great, and I'm sure all the other trim levels above me that I can't justify paying for, I'm sure they're a lot better as well. So I'm going to say, without a doubt, this is the most comfortable truck I have ever driven. As far as engine and powertrain is concerned, like I said, I have had no issues. I'm 20,000 miles now. It has been tuned and deleted. I did that at 8,000 miles, so I'm pretty much 12,000 miles into the truck, not stock, if you will. I don't run this thing too hard. I don't run this in tune 5 or anything like this. I run this generally on like the mild 30 or 60 horsepower tune. It is a 5-inch straight pipe turbo back pipe, and I do have a fast fuel system and cold air intake up front, but honestly the truck drove pretty good, even before I did that. This just kind of makes it a little bit more enjoyable to drive. No major issues to report. I'm on the 5th gen groups on Facebook, and it is every single day people hating on these trucks, smashing these trucks. They're like, hey, my screen stopped working, I'm getting rid of this and getting into a power stroke or something like that. I've thankfully not had any of those issues. I have had one issue, and I will link the video up in the top corner and in the description below, where I had a check engine light for a PO765, a shift solenoid D, and I did get locked out of 5th and 6th gears. And long story short, you can watch the video if you want the full story. Long story short, here all I had to do was pull over, I cleared the code, and I kept driving. That happened about about 2 months ago, probably about 2,000 miles ago. I have had zero issues since. I'm gonna call that a fluke. It is not something that it is. There is no actual problems with the truck that I know of. Now, I am kind of a worrywart, so even though nothing is wrong with the truck, I already did get parts ordered to kind of build the trans, if you will, to help support the 68, since we know these transmissions are weak in these trucks. I did order all the billet parts from RevMax, like the valve body, a new solenoid pack, deep pan, thermal bypass. All those parts are coming, so we are going to try to beef the stock transmission up, since I did have that engine code, I guess, one time, and I did get locked out of 2 gears. It's to be safe. I don't think it's necessary at all. A lot of guys I talk to on Instagram and, you know, the other forums say like, hey, they've also had the code happen. They're 10,000 miles down the road, never happened again. And I probably could also have that luck, although I'm not chancing it. I'm just gonna, I'd rather spend the extra money and kind of beef it up now and hope that I get like another 80 or 100,000 miles out of the stock trans. Now, as far as everything else goes, like I said, I still have had no issues. Stock wheels are in the truck currently, because we are currently working on a project with the American Force Jade SS's. Stay tuned for that. That'll be next week in the next upcoming weeks. But everything else has been good. Original brakes, original, literally everything. I haven't changed anything on this truck other than oil filter, and fuel filter. Everything's original. Now, I will say the only other thing that I do have to kind of complain about, which is not really, it's not nothing for me. We of course know the Ram front ends are super notorious for being weak, just like the transmissions, of course. Probably since 5,000 miles, when I turn right and I hit a pothole, something up in the front right does like pop. And ironically, within like the last 2,000 miles, now the left side also does that. It's not a concern to me. I honestly don't care. Like, I do plan on probably lifting the truck, so like I'm replacing stuff anyways. There's probably like a blown out shock. I'm sure these shocks suck on these trucks, like from the factory. It's nothing that I've been concerned about. I'll hit a pothole, I'll hear a little clunk, and I forget about it in 5 seconds after I hit the accelerator and zoom up out of there. And then I never think about it again until it happens again. So I don't personally think that's a problem, but I'm sure a lot of guys on Facebook would cry about it. Thankfully, I haven't had any other issues. Now, I do believe this is the 2021. It has like 2 or 3 recalls. I have no intentions on getting any of those recalls done. One's for like the heater grid, one's for who the hell else knows, I'm not sure. Thankfully, it is a 21 and already has a CP3 pump, so I don't have to worry about the CP4 recall. If I did have a CP4 in this truck and, you know, that recall came out on it, I would have gotten that one done. But the stupid small recalls that are on this truck right now, I'm not worried about in the slightest. I'll take my chances. But otherwise, I do think it's a really good looking truck. I mean, I've never really been one for Rams until the 5th gens come out. I do like the styling of the truck. I do like the looks of it, of course, and honestly, it drives well. Very happy with it. It's an inline 6. I mean, fuel mileage isn't terrible. Honestly, I get better fuel mileage now than I did, of course, when I bought it. I really don't think it has a lot to do with the tuning and deleting. I think more or less it has something to do with the truck just getting worn in. Bought this truck completely brand new, stock, drove it down to Florida and back, couldn't get over 20 miles per gallon. Last trip I just took to North Carolina about 2 months ago, like I said, I was getting 23, 24 miles per gallon. Like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the tuning, because the miles per gallon did not change after I got it deleted. It changed legit in like the past 5,000 miles. So after getting the truck tuned and whatnot, honestly, I really didn't notice a big fuel mileage gain. Like I said, I noticed a gain now. So once again, I think it's just the truck getting broken in. So of course, we got a lot of stuff done to this thing, a lot of paint match, in general mods. I do got to get a bed liner in this thing still, because the bed is all scratched up. A lot of people make fun of me for how gross the bed is, but it is what it is, man. It's a truck. What am I gonna do about it? So one thing I will note, and I don't think this has anything to do with being a Ram or not, is just the paint. The paint sucks on all these new trucks. My Silverado was the same way. Paint chips all over the place now. Of course, we're gonna get paint chips on the rocker panels and stuff from running wide wheels and tires. Here you can see a pretty beefy one right there. Like, they're all over the place, but honestly, these are stock wheels and they still throw rocks and everything up the side, so you're gonna get that. But just like all the I mean, the truck's kind of filthy right now, but I have paint chips all over the front of this truck. There's paint chips all over here, and when I bought the truck, I thought about PPF, which is paint protective film, and I was like, man, like $4,000 or $5,000 to get this thing, you know, coated, paint protection, whatever, is a lot of money. But thinking back, I probably should have done that, because like, I'm not someone who tailgates people a lot or in general at all, but I got rock chips all over this truck. Now, I did get like a full paint correction ceramic coating, but that does not help with like the paint chips. Trying to think of anything else real quick before signing off. I honestly just don't have anything negative to report. I like the truck. I think it's the most comfortable truck I've ever driven. The cab is pretty quiet, even though there's a 5-inch exhaust on it. It is not like a big deal. Driving along highway, there's not a whole lot of drone. Towing with this truck is pretty good. Like I honestly don't even know how much towing miles I have on it. Trailer tow miles, 4,000. Okay, so like basically right over 4,000 miles of towing. So 4,000 miles towing, I feel like it's pretty decent. I know a lot of guys are gonna be like, yo man, 20,000 miles, should have 18,000 miles of towing. This ain't my daily driver, man. This is not the way I make money for a living. So 4,000 miles of towing for me, I think is pretty good. That's almost a whole quarter of its life so far. I've towed both bumper pull and goosenecks for personal and for work. So either way, I think it tows pretty good. Now this thing is not the quickest truck in the world. It isn't as fast as the new Power Strokes. It's definitely never gonna be as fast as the Duramaxes, but it is solid and reliable. Personal opinion, of course. Now the best thing when towing with this, tow haul mode's awesome, of course, but the engine brake. The engine brake in these trucks by far beat anything that a Power Stroke and a Duramax have. There's no doubts about it. I have friends with them. They have never been so much more impressed with my engine brake than their engine brake. So the engine brake on these trucks are phenomenal, of course, especially with a little bit of tune and delete in there. I'm not going to say too much, but I don't know. I have very good luck with this truck. I like it a lot. I have no plans on getting rid of it anytime soon. Got a lot of videos coming on it. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. I have all these ideas in my head when I want to make videos and I try to film with you guys and I forget everything I was going to say. So hopefully somebody found some of this information helpful. 20,000 miles with the truck. I don't have any complaints. I like it a lot. Have no issues, no complaints with it. Of course, I'm pouring a lot of money into it, but that's my drug, if you will. So like the video if you haven't already, subscribe, join the family, join the Cummins build. Like I said, I got a lot of fun videos coming up here soon, and see y'all next week. Peace.